Well, good afternoon. A question that was asked of me, I won't ask it of you, but the question was, then what good are you? Now, I'd like you to say that with me, would you? Then what good are you? Now, that's going to be a part of my story in just a minute. I'm going to have you say it, and don't worry, you'll know right where it comes. I was getting my master's degree, and I was in an internship at UCLA Medical Center and working in the chaplain's office, and I got a call early on a Monday morning, and I needed to go to the emergency room. A high school senior, he was just a few months away from a place like this, coming and graduating and going to college, had been surfing in Malibu before school. A wave had crashed him into the sand, and he was being flown by helicopter to the medical center emergency room with concerns about his neck. As I walked in the back door of the emergency room, he was coming down an elevator from the roof, and his father walked in the front door of the emergency room. The chaplain's job is in the emergency room is to greet family, loved ones, help care for them, comfort them, perhaps pray with them. And I sought to engage him that way. And he had just one question for me. Can you get me the x-rays? By the way, he was a neck and spine surgeon. I knew there was no way I could get him the x-rays. After all, his son had just come in. There weren't any x-rays yet. And when they were taken, it would be some time before a parent would be able to see them. But I tried. I looked around. I tried to make an effort, and I tried to engage him, and he asked me a couple more times, can you get me the x-rays? And finally, I had to say to him, I'm sorry, sir, I can't. And he said, then what good are you? And he had no idea that that would send me into a tailspin. I was asking the same question. What good am I? In a hospital, a chaplain, what people want is healing. They want God to do something in their life, and if I can't make that happen, what good am I? And if I'm no good in a hospital, what good am I anywhere? By Friday afternoon, I had an answer to his question. No good at all. I was headed home on Friday afternoon, and I wasn't coming back on Monday. I was quitting the program. And if I quit the program, I wouldn't get my master's. I wouldn't be able to get the job. I didn't know what my family would say, or my friends, certainly not my wife. But I wasn't coming back. And I turned the last corner to head to the parking lot. And someone else coming from the parking lot turned the corner the other way. And we ran right into each other. And it was that father. And we both stepped back, and I looked into his eyes, and I thought I would see anger, and instead they were red with tears. And I mustered up the last of my compassion as a leaving chaplain and said, all of us have been praying for you and your son. And then I almost winced because I was afraid to get another comeback. And instead he said, that's all any of us can do now. And then he wrapped his arms around me and gave me a hug. And not just a man hug that you pat each other on the back, but he grabbed me in a bear hug. And I hugged him back, and then his shoulders began to shake as he cried and as I cried, and people gave us privacy in the middle of a hallway that only happens in hospitals. And then we separated, and I wish I could tell you what happened to his son, but you know, all the laws and confidentiality, chaplains just often don't find out, and I don't know what happened, and I never saw that father again. But on my way to my car, I heard a voice in my head, not audible, and I don't think it was my own words because it was speaking to me. And it said, this is what good you are. You are my arms when I want to hold someone. You are my mouth when I want to say a word of kindness. And you are my eyes when I want to cry with someone. And I went home, and I came back on Monday. And 20 years later, whatever care I've given to anyone, whatever comfort I've offered or help I've given, I owe some of that to that father who did an act of kindness at just the right moment, and it changed my life. Now, I think it was huge, but enormous, but actually it was very simple. It was something any of us can do. It was a kind word and a hug at the right moment. I want to encourage all of us. What do we take away from here? An act of kindness, a kind word, a hug, a note, a text, a tweet, an email, something, a phone call, maybe before you get to your car. But it'll make us feel better. But sometimes when it's at the right moment, it can change a life. So that's my takeaway. Let's be kind.